Hey everybody, good morning. I'll have to talk a little bit louder because it's a bumpy road. We are out here back at the location that we went to twice now. We did the walk just around the little lake pond area. Then we did a walk where we were out 2 weeks ago, all the way up and down most of the trail, not all of the trail. And I'm back for video since I didn't do it the other day. And we stayed in the car and we just did photography or video from the car. And there's lots and lots of little birds all over the side of this dirt road that are going up. So cool. Bit of a hurry today. I woke up with plenty of time. I went, okay, we could do this. It's going to take me about that long to get there, and we'll be able to do it, and I'll need to leave by this time. And I thought, oh, I got plenty of time. Everything's ready to go because it was just sitting by the door waiting from on Saturday where I had all the video stuff ready to go. And instead of that, I went, I got a little bit of time, so I started reading. And then I looked up and went, oh, it's time to go. So we are arriving at 6:26, and the sunrise is officially at 6:28. I was hoping to be out there by now. It's not too far of a walk, maybe 5-10 minutes, and then we'll have to set up, which is going to take a little bit. I definitely was hoping to be here just a bit sooner, but oh well, it'll be fine. I don't think there are any signs that say that they're closed for tree removal today, so lights off. Let's get going as quickly as we can. Well, oh, it's hot. Can I get the AC going, please? No, just keep it a little bit. Lots to improve after today. How about that? Let's put it that way. Improvement number 1. Getting here a little bit earlier probably would have been nice, but I think it was fine. We were still in the shade. We picked a spot, we walked out, and I looked around and I saw, well, at first I thought they were for the trees that they cut down. Remember from the last few times we've come out. There was notices that they were shutting down the park in order to cut down some non-native trees. And so I saw something like that when I was walking up and was like, oh, I guess they took some down here that I don't remember. I didn't notice. They were not. And I went, oh, wait, no, these are holes. This is where stuff lives. Probably prairie dogs. There's a lot of prairie dogs around. But I looked and I didn't see any evidence that there were some out. And I was like, well, I assume I would have noticed them as I was coming up or anything. So clearly these ones are probably not active. Also, I don't really want to talk about prairie dogs because it was bumming me out. There's a notice that they just the other day, like within the past few days, were trying to poison them. To clear them out as they declare them as pests. We're not going into it. Honestly, maybe that can be an episode of that whole podcast thing I started at the beginning of the year and did 2 and stopped. Because I need to research more of it. I know a little bit going into it, and I don't... Anyway. I figured they weren't active, right? And so I set up, and it took me a little bit to get everything set up. I forget how long it takes. And there's improvement number 2 and 3. What we could improve upon, 1, remembering which hat to wear depending on what you're doing. This kind of hat works much better when I have headphones to go over it so I can monitor the audio. That I can't do with a big wide brim hat. It just doesn't work. Sometimes I've tried to wear them around the back, but it just wasn't. Okay. Is what it is. And improvement number 3 was the sync. I'm saying it here because I realized the last time I came out with all the video stuff, there was a problem with it, and it's doing it again today, where it's a couple of devices that are for the time code. And the time code is basically while your camera's going, it's recording down to the second, or I think it's just down to the second, the time code so that you can sync audio, and that's extremely useful for me because otherwise I'll never be able to sync it up. It's not an easy thing to do, syncing audio for wildlife footage. So you use that to make sure everything is in sync when you're recording. So when I'm recording the audio and I'm recording video, it's all in sync. It's actually a good spot where they can go past. We'll just slow down. There's a car coming ahead of me, so I'm trying to go as far wide as I can to make sure. So when you do that, I plug one into my audio recorder. It's what I've been doing for years now. We've been doing this since Wyoming, so it's been quite a while. Plug one into there, have that generating the time code off the audio recording device, sync it to the camera. Pull it out, use the app, tell them to sync together, and both of them are generating a time code, and it's not getting into the camera somehow. And I had this problem the last time we came out. I don't know what's going on. Is it the cable? Is it something else? I should have, after the last attempt at doing this, stopped what I was doing and went, okay, here's how we fix this. Let me put the camera back at the right angle. Here's how we fix it. And I don't know what the fix is, but I need to actually do it. So by saying it here when I'm editing this, I will stop and go figure out whatever it is. Because by the time I get home after doing this, I'm not like, all right, let's dig into it and figure it out. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I did not eat breakfast. I'm ready to move on and do other things with the day. So that's 3. Seeing actual wildlife would have been nice. Pretty much no birds at any point. Was really hoping. Basically nothing. Prairie dogs. We did see some prairie dogs. They were out. And that's what really there was a fence and then there's some over there, and I was looking and you know, they came out and were yapping, and I was getting a shot of them. I did do some things a little bit different. I set up with the audio. I don't know if this is going to come out. It obviously overheated at some point, but I took the GoPro and just set it there. I was like, here, when we're out there, we're kind of capturing a few different things. 1, the wildlife, main camera. 2, some landscape. And usually I just set that up, pick what landscape looks good, and just leave it the whole time and let it go for an hour or plus and put that up as just nature. Because that's what it is. It's just I have the wide angle in case something happens and I need that wide angle shot. But if I'm already sitting there and I'm recording it, why would I not use it for something else? So in addition to that, I took that secondary one with the nice lens and the camera and everything, and I kind of pointed at different things throughout while I was out there. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Just whatever while I was doing it. And then I still have a static, just still shot for however long that lasted before that camera overheated over where the audio was. It's on the ground, so it's like a ground shot because I didn't bring a tripod for it, didn't think about it. But I wouldn't have, I'm trying to go less when it comes to bringing things and carrying stuff. It's pretty heavy and it takes me a while to get everything set up, which you might know, if this worked, I have no idea. I took the chest mount camera that I wore, and I usually don't do that except maybe on the walk to kind of show what it's like, and then once it's set up, I let it go the whole time. So while I'm there and while I'm looking around, which I don't know if that's going to come out because I'm sitting real close to the camera, obviously, and it's wide angle, but I don't know if it's getting enough to the point where it's a decent thing. And also while I'm sitting there and there's nothing doing, I tend to frump apparently, and then the camera's pointed down because my chest is going that way. So frump shot's not going to work for anything. That's not useful. If there's a lot of that footage will just it won't do anything because it's not good enough for any purpose. But if it's interesting, maybe I'll put that up as like, here's what it is while I'm just sitting and waiting and looking. I spent a lot of time looking for birds, listening, not seeing much. Oh well, I'm glad we did the video. I'm glad we got back out. I really was considering not doing it because I wanted to take time this holiday weekend to just kind of sit and relax for like a full day, and that was gonna be yesterday, and then I went, no, I've got a video to edit that I shot the other weekend, which is not related to any of this. I think I mentioned it, that I had something to do when I was recording last week when we were in the car. I was like, I really got to get to editing this, and well, it took about 6.5 hours. I started at 5:30 and I was done at noon. It was a lot. That was a lot, and I did it to myself. I really, I think it should be out by the time this is out, yeah, because I want to release it sooner rather than later. It's on the secondary channel. It's kind of gameplay related. It's very similar. A few years ago, I made a video where the exercise that I'm doing, I've been exercising and trying to do something health-wise and build stamina, all this stuff. It's been years. I talk about that. I used to not do zero exercise, and then I started getting a little more and a little more. So I got the exercise bike, and I was riding that. And at first I was like, well, I need something to keep me entertained because this sucks. And so what did I do? I played all the Pokemon games. And then I finished that and went, I should probably stop doing that. And then I played all the Legend of Zelda games, which is like twice as many. It was 18 games that I played because I didn't do the newest ones that have come out. I'm ready to just sit and play those. And I thought I'd just talk about what I liked or didn't about all the games because I'd never played a majority of them. I'd only played a handful over the years. So I did that, and it wound up being like a 2-hour recording session. Cut it down to about 1:15, I think is the runtime on it. But yeah, because I also wanted to put like gameplay footage in there and some graphics and just the normal amount of editing of like, well, you messed this up, that was rambling and didn't make any sense, cut this, trim this, add this, 6.5 hours. So when I finished at noon yesterday, I was not willing to do much else. So I really thought about being like, well, I've done something, I feel productive. I don't just in the general sense of whatever it is towards recording or putting online, I feel productive enough I don't have to. And I woke up this morning and went, now, come on, do it. You haven't done video in a really long time. And just for whatever reason, I really like doing video. The photography is great. Obviously, there are trade-offs. You can walk around a lot more. That's what, when I'm mobile and active, I can see more. But I just don't like the photos as much. It's fine. It's great. No, nothing about it. But there's just something about capturing it on video that that's why I have all the video equipment that I do and why I kind of drift towards doing that. I like doing that, and I like the results of it. It's cool. I wish I had the ability to really combine them in a way, but I have tried up and down and sideways, and just having the stability and the good audio that you get from staying in one spot does not work when you're moving about. And I've never found a good hybrid between the two where I can get good video without needing a big heavy tripod and a whole audio that's off camera setup and still be able to actively move about. And then I definitely don't get a landscape shot because now you're talking about trying to move with multiple cameras. No chance, not happening. Anyway, that's what today was. Good time out. I'm glad I did it, even though we basically saw only prairie dogs the whole time. And maybe I'll go learn about some prairie dogs and see, maybe I'll do a thing. I don't know what I don't know, and so I just need to admit that I don't know. It makes me feel bad. I feel it's like, what a bummer they're out here trying to kill them. But I also know that they've been declared a pest, but that's not a real thing. There's no actual definition to it. It's just a thing humans made up and went, that one's a pest, so we're okay with murdering it. I know that there's probably some negative effects and there's reasons why they want to do it, but I remember specifically getting into it with my wife, who rides horses and is very horse-centric and has been told by all the people that she goes to ride horses with and stuff like that, that the reason they take care of them in that way is because it can be dangerous for the horses where they can fall into one of the holes. I remember hearing about that and going, wow, okay, I can understand. It's kind of a problem. You want to keep those things separate. And then I looked it up and there's never been a recorded case. There's no evidence of that. They did a study and put out and were like, please, farmers, people with horses, we want credible stories. And they had zero. They got nothing that was actual credible besides someone being like, yeah, I heard about it. No evidence of that ever happening. Obviously, I'm just spitballing off the top of my head. I want to do more research into this. Maybe this is going to be the next topic. I also was kind of hoping to pick one at some point. It's been like 8 months since I did one, so let's be real. Am I ever going to get back around to it? I hope so. But I'd like to pick one that's a little less depressing than talking about the murdering of animals. So, yeah. I hope carbon monoxide is I don't know if there is really humane, but somewhat, I don't know. I don't know that much about it. I didn't even think about it until I was on my way back I don't think I was really sitting amongst a bunch of them to the point where it would be something that I needed to be super concerned about. But maybe I should have been. It was a few days ago, but the notice was for the whole month of September. Maybe that's just cautious. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, and since I don't know it, I should probably not try to talk about it with any sort of factual knowledge. I should research. That's the whole point. I set up that stuff in the closet so that when it came time for me to learn something I didn't know, I could do that and talk about it. So maybe that will be coming out at some point soon. I'm done. Bye, everybody.